Being too soft on yourself may feel good in the moment, but it comes with a long-term cost, regret. Every skipped opportunity, every avoided challenge, every excuse you make chips away at your goals. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. You don't need perfect conditions. You need grit. The champions of history didn't rise to greatness by being gentle with themselves. They demanded more. They expected more. And when life got difficult, they didn't fold. They pushed harder. Accountability is the cornerstone of lasting success. It means looking in the mirror and owning your habits, your decisions, and your results. No blaming others. No playing victim. It means saying, "This is my life, and I am responsible for the outcome." That's a tough pill to swallow, but it's also the most empowering one you'll ever take. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to become all you can be. Start by doing the hard things. Wake up earlier. Stop negotiating with yourself. Make promises and actually keep them. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about self-respect. It's choosing long-term rewards over short-term relief. It's trading fleeting comfort for permanent confidence. Every time you choose discipline over ease, you strengthen your mind. You train yourself to show up, to follow through, and to fight for your future. You won't feel like it every day. That's okay. Success isn't about feelings, it's about commitment. The days you feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged are the days that matter most. Those are the days where real strength is forged. That's where champions are made. So stop being soft on yourself. Stop making excuses. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for shaping. Push yourself when it's hard. Be your own coach, not your own critic. The results will speak louder than any words ever could. Remember, growth is uncomfortable, but so is staying stuck. Choose your pain, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One leads to strength and freedom. The other leads to frustration and lost potential. The choice is yours. Be tough. Be accountable. Be great. Success has never been reserved for those born into perfect circumstances. In fact, some of the world's most remarkable achievements were born out of hardship, rejection, and failure. What sets extraordinary individuals apart is not that they had ideal conditions, but that they possessed unshakable mental strength. Take Thomas Edison. He didn't succeed because everything was handed to him. On the contrary, his journey was filled with setbacks. He was told he lacked intelligence. He failed thousands of times while trying to invent the electric light. But none of that stopped him. Why? Because Edison's greatest invention wasn't the light bulb. It was his refusal to quit. That same mental resilience was embodied by Abraham Lincoln. He faced overwhelming obstacles throughout his life: crippling poverty, repeated political failures, personal loss. Many would have seen those as signs to give up. But Lincoln pressed on. He carried an inner strength that allowed him to lead the nation through its darkest chapter, not because it was easy or convenient, but because his mind was made up. His circumstances didn't determine his path. His mindset did. Mental toughness is what allowed these men to thrive. And it's the same trait you must cultivate if you want to rise above the challenges life throws your way. The truth is, we all face setbacks. We all encounter unfairness, delays, criticism, and pain. But while most people wait for conditions to improve, the mentally strong create their own breakthroughs. They don't allow circumstances to dictate their outcomes. They dig in, stay focused, and keep going long after others have given up. Mental strength doesn't mean being emotionless or unaffected. It means choosing purpose over panic, clarity over chaos, and persistence over comfort. It means not allowing temporary pain to destroy your long-term vision. It's about showing up even when you're tired, trying again even when you've failed, and believing in yourself even when others don't. You don't need ideal conditions to succeed. You need an ideal mindset. You need a mind that doesn't flinch under pressure, a mind that stays locked on the mission when distractions, doubts, and disappointments come. That's how legacies are built. not through ease, but through endurance. Ask yourself this: what if you stopped blaming your circumstances and started building your strength? What if you adopted the mindset of someone who refuses to lose? The truth is, greatness isn't found in comfort, it's forged in fire. You'll be tested, you'll be stretched, but each time you stay standing, you grow stronger. Every hardship becomes a chapter in your story of victory, not because of where you started, but because of how you responded. If Edison and Lincoln had waited for the perfect time, we'd never know their names. But they acted with conviction, even when the odds were stacked against them. You can do the same. Develop mental discipline. Train your mind to hold the line, and no matter your circumstance, choose to rise. Clarity of purpose is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate in life. It gives direction, focus, and momentum to everything you do. Without it, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the winds of distraction or circumstance blow you. But with it, your path becomes clear, your actions become intentional, and your energy becomes focused like a laser on what truly matters. The most successful individuals in history didn't achieve greatness by accident. They had a vivid vision of where they wanted to go and aligned every thought, decision, and action to get there. Think of Henry Ford, who didn't just dream of building a car. He had a crystal clear vision of creating an automobile that everyday Americans could afford. That single, clearly defined purpose drove him to revolutionize manufacturing and reshape the modern world. His clarity created momentum. It filtered out distractions and made decision-making simple. If something moved him closer to his goal, he pursued it. If it didn't, he dismissed it. That's the power of clarity. It removes hesitation and replaces it with focused, decisive effort. The same applies to each of us. Without a clearly defined goal, your energy gets scattered. You might work hard, stay busy, and even feel productive. But if your actions aren't tied to a central purpose, you'll find yourself running in circles, exhausted but not advancing. Clarity transforms busy work into meaningful progress. It turns vague aspirations into tangible milestones. So, how do you find that clarity? It starts with asking honest questions. What truly matters to you? What impact do you want to have? What outcome would make your effort worthwhile? Once you've identified that, write it down. Be specific. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Define what success looks like: financial independence, a healthy lifestyle, a thriving business, strong relationships. The more precise your vision, the more powerful your focus becomes. Visualize your goals daily. Let them shape your thoughts and influence your actions. When distractions arise, your clarity acts as a compass, guiding you back to your path. When obstacles show up, your purpose gives you the strength to push through them. And when doubt creeps in, your clear vision reminds you why you started. Purpose isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's what separates driven individuals from those who wander through life unsure of where they're going. If you want to move forward with speed, certainty, and confidence, you must know where you're headed and why it matters. Don't let another day pass living reactively. Choose to live with intention. Define your purpose, align your life around it, and take consistent, disciplined steps toward it. Because once you get clear, truly clear on your destination, the journey becomes not just easier, but unstoppable. Clarity isn't just the first step to success. It's the fuel that keeps you moving until the job is done. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through struggle, one step at a time. No one becomes great without facing hardship. True greatness isn't found in comfort. It's discovered in adversity. Pain, setbacks, and failures are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. They test your resolve, sharpen your thinking, and build the emotional muscle required for long-term success. When life pushes you down, you have a choice: stay down or get back up stronger. Resilience is what gives you the strength to rise again. even when your mind is tired and your heart is heavy. It's what transforms disappointment into determination and loss into learning. Every obstacle, when faced with courage, becomes fuel for the fire that drives you forward. The road to success is filled with unexpected detours and moments that will challenge everything inside you. But those moments are not setbacks, they are setups. They reveal your character, show you your strength, and prepare you for what's ahead. The people who rise in life are not the ones who avoid difficulty, but the ones who grow through it. They see adversity as necessary, even valuable. They let it refine, not define them. To build resilience, you must shift your perspective. Don't view challenges as punishment. See them as preparation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And how can I become better because of it? These questions transform frustration into focus and fear into action. They move you from victim to victor in your own story. Another essential step is consistency. Create daily habits that reinforce strength of mind. Whether it's setting goals, journaling your growth, or simply taking time to reflect, the little things you do every day build a strong foundation. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who remind you of your strength, and who won't let you quit when things get hard. And most importantly, give yourself credit not just for wins, but for showing up, for staying in the fight when giving up would be easier. That is resilience in its purest form, continuing, even when no one sees your struggle, even when the reward is far away, even when the climb is steep and the path unclear. Your resilience will define your journey. The more you develop it, the more you will discover just how powerful you truly are. Adversity is not the end. It's the beginning of your rise. Let each challenge make you wiser, tougher, and more prepared for what's ahead. Choose to be unshakable. Choose to grow. And in that choice, you'll find the key to everything you've been chasing. Self-belief is the foundation upon which every great achievement is built. It's not just a feel-good concept. It's the engine that powers your decisions, your resilience, and your ability to overcome adversity. When you believe in yourself, you activate an inner force that pushes you forward even when the world says no, when circumstances feel overwhelming, or when progress seems slow. Many people wait for outside validation to begin believing in their worth. They look for praise, approval, or results to justify their effort. But lasting success doesn't work that way. True progress begins when you decide, within yourself, that you are capable, worthy, and destined to rise. This belief isn't arrogant. It's not wishful thinking. It's the quiet, steady confidence that you are enough and that you are becoming more with each step. Your internal dialogue, what you tell yourself day in and day out, matters more than any external voice. If you constantly tell yourself you're not ready, not smart enough, or not as talented as others, your actions will reflect that doubt. You'll hesitate. You'll procrastinate. You'll shrink away from opportunity. But if you speak to yourself with courage and conviction, your mindset begins to change. You take more initiative. You handle setbacks with clarity. You lean into growth instead of running from discomfort. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens through repetition, daily affirmations, reflections on your past wins, surrounding yourself with people who challenge your thinking and uplift your spirit. It happens by acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, and using it as proof that you are moving forward. There will always be voices of doubt, some from others, some from within. But belief gives you the power to drown out the noise. It gives you direction when you're lost and strength when you're weary. It keeps you moving when motivation disappears. And it shapes how others see you, because people respond to energy. When you carry yourself with belief, you invite opportunities, you command respect, you create momentum. Make it a practice to protect and grow your self-belief. Guard it like a priceless treasure. Because in many cases, belief is the only thing standing between you and your breakthrough. It's the fuel that turns obstacles into stepping stones, and setbacks into setups for something greater. Every great journey starts with the decision to believe, to bet on yourself, to take the first step without seeing the full path. And the truth is, you don't need permission. You need conviction. You don't need certainty. You need courage. So today, speak life into your dreams. Feed your confidence with action. And when doubt creeps in, remind yourself, belief isn't just the beginning. It's the bridge to everything you want. Your progress, your growth, and your success all rise or fall based on how deeply you choose to believe in you. Bold, immediate action is the dividing line between those who only dream and those who actually achieve. Too many people sit on great ideas, waiting for the perfect time, the right mood, or some magical sign that everything is ready. But the truth is, that moment never comes. Success doesn't wait for perfection. It responds to movement. If you hesitate, you lose momentum. If you procrastinate, you lose opportunity. The ones who win in life are those who act boldly, despite fear, despite doubt, despite not having all the answers. Fear is natural, but bold action isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what needs to be done, even while fear is whispering in your ear. It's deciding that the pain of staying stuck is greater than the discomfort of moving forward. Most people let fear stop them before they even begin. They get stuck in analysis, buried in overthinking, trying to map out every step before taking the first one. But clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from it. The more you move, the clearer things become. Each step forward reveals the next. There's power in urgency. When you act quickly, you build momentum. You send a message to your brain that says, "We're doing this," and that energy compounds. One small win builds into another. One small risk taken gives you the courage to take a bigger one. Progress is made not through massive leaps all at once, but through consistent movement, even if it's imperfect. On the flip side, hesitation is the silent killer of potential. Every time you pause out of fear or indecision, you're letting opportunity slip by. The more you hesitate, the harder it becomes to start. Procrastination becomes a habit, and with it comes regret. Some of the most successful people in history weren't the most talented. They were simply the most decisive. They saw a window open and jumped through it, trusting they would figure things out along the way. Action is what separates people who almost did something from those who actually did. The world rewards the doers, not the dreamers. Even if you fail, even if you stumble, bold action always moves you forward. You learn, you adapt, you get stronger. But if you do nothing, nothing changes. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? If there's a goal in your heart, a vision you can't shake, take the first step now. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait for confidence to magically appear. Confidence is built through action. Courage is built through movement. Make boldness a habit. Train yourself to act quickly when inspiration strikes. Stop second-guessing. Stop waiting for approval. Start doing. The life you want isn't waiting for you in comfort. It's waiting on the other side of decisive action. Move now. Be bold. And let action open doors that hesitation never will. Living with passion is the difference between simply existing and truly thriving. Passion isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a deep, inner fire that gives your actions meaning, your goals direction, and your life energy. It's what keeps you going long after motivation has faded. Passion is what drives you to show up on the hard days, push through discomfort, and give your best even when no one is watching. It's not about hype or excitement. It's about having something in your life that you care about so deeply. Quitting simply isn't an option. When you live with passion, effort transforms into excellence. You're no longer working just to get by. You're working with purpose. You're focused, energized, and driven by something larger than yourself. That's why passionate people outperform even the most talented. They don't stop when it gets tough. They don't look for shortcuts. Their work means something to them. It matters. And because it matters, they bring a level of intensity, care, and resilience that's hard to match. Many people go through life without ever tapping into their passion. They drift from task to task, career to career, living without true connection to what lights them up. They may look successful from the outside, but inside they feel drained, disconnected, and unfulfilled. Why? Because they've settled. They've convinced themselves that passion is a luxury reserved for artists, dreamers, or the lucky few. But that's a lie. Passion is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's available to anyone willing to search inward and ask the real questions. What do I love? What work makes me feel alive? What impact do I want to leave behind? Once you discover your passion, protect it. Don't treat it like a hobby. Don't bury it beneath obligations or fear. Build your life around it. Let it influence how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you wake up to do each morning. When you align your work, your goals, and your habits with your passion, life begins to accelerate. You stop needing motivation because your heart is already in it. And if you haven't found your passion yet, don't worry. Keep searching. Try new things. Pay attention to what excites you, what angers you, what makes you lose track of time. Passion leaves clues. Follow them. When you find that thing that stirs your soul, hold on to it. Nurture it. Let it grow. Living with passion doesn't guarantee a smooth road. In fact, it often demands more of you. But it also gives more back. It gives you joy in the work, pride in your effort, and a deep sense of purpose that can't be shaken by setbacks or doubt. So choose passion. Live it. Breathe it. Let it shape your choices and energize your journey. Because when you live with passion, you're no longer chasing success just for the sake of it. You're building a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. And that's where real fulfillment begins. Committing to lifelong learning is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Growth doesn't stop when school ends or when you reach a certain milestone in your career. In fact, the most successful, fulfilled individuals never stop learning because they understand that knowledge is the fuel for progress, and evolution is only possible when the mind remains active, curious, and open. When you embrace continuous learning, you keep your mind sharp and your perspective fresh. You stay relevant in a world that's always changing. Skills evolve, industries transform, and new challenges arise. Those who stop learning fall behind, not because they're not intelligent, but because they've allowed complacency to take over. The moment you say, "I already know enough," you begin to stagnate, and stagnation is the quiet beginning of decline. And lifelong learners, on the other hand, are always seeking ways to grow. They read books, listen to others, ask questions, and challenge their own assumptions. They treat each day as a classroom and every experience as an opportunity to get better. This mindset doesn't just make them smarter, it makes them emotionally wiser, more adaptable, and more equipped to handle the ups and downs of life. Knowledge, when consistently pursued, becomes more than information, it becomes insight. It's not about formal education or degrees, it's about daily habits. Read a few pages of a book. Watch a thought-provoking documentary. Reflect on your experiences. Have conversations with people who challenge your thinking. Take notes, ask questions, and stay curious. These small actions, compounded over time, create massive transformation. Benjamin Franklin once developed a system of self-education by focusing on specific virtues and tracking his progress every day. That disciplined learning process helped him become one of the most accomplished individuals in history. His example shows that the secret isn't in cramming knowledge, but in building consistent habits around learning and personal growth. The truth is, the world belongs to the learners, the ones who stay hungry, the ones who understand that success isn't a destination, it's a lifelong journey of refinement. So never let your age, status, or comfort zone become a reason to stop learning. As long as you're growing, you're moving forward. And as long as you're moving forward, you're still building the life you were meant to live. Stay curious, stay humble, stay sharp. Lifelong learning is not just a strategy, it's a way of life. Adaptability is no longer optional, it's essential. In a world that shifts by the hour, success belongs to those who can pivot without losing their footing. Life won't always unfold according to plan. Economies fluctuate, technologies evolve, people change, and the unexpected becomes the new normal. But the individuals who rise above these tides are not the ones who resist change. They're the ones who welcome it, learn from it, and use it to their advantage. Embracing adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your principles or dreams. On the contrary, it means staying rooted in purpose while remaining flexible in how you reach it. Think of a tree during a storm. The ones that survive are not the stiff, rigid ones. They are the ones that bend with the wind while keeping their roots strong. That's the essence of true adaptability. Fluid in method, firm in mission. In practical terms, adaptability means being emotionally prepared to shift gears when the moment calls for it. It means observing without panicking, analyzing before reacting, and adjusting your course with clarity instead of fear. Whether it's a career disruption, a health setback, or a personal challenge, your response determines your future. Adaptable people don't collapse when the road changes. They find another way forward. This mindset takes practice. Start by letting go of the need for everything to be certain. Certainty is a comfort, but it's also a trap. The more you demand perfect conditions, the more fragile your confidence becomes. Instead, train yourself to become comfortable with discomfort. Ask, what's this moment trying to teach me? Or, how can I evolve through this? These questions shift your perspective from resistance to readiness. Adaptability also means upgrading your skills continuously. The more tools you have, the more confidently you can navigate unexpected terrain. Stay curious. Learn something new every day. Explore unfamiliar ideas. When you do this, you're not just reacting to change, you're preparing for it. It's important to remember that adaptability isn't about being passive or reactive. It's about being proactive, staying aware of your surroundings, anticipating challenges, and making strategic shifts without compromising your values. It's a blend of awareness, flexibility, and emotional control. The people who thrive long-term are the ones who evolve. They reinvent themselves, update their approach, and view setbacks as setups for reinvention. In contrast, those who cling to outdated ways of thinking or resist change often find themselves left behind, frustrated by a world that refuses to stand still. So, embrace adaptability as your competitive edge. Let it empower your choices, strengthen your resilience, and widen your capacity for growth. When you cultivate this mindset, you won't just survive change, you'll lead through it. And in a world where everything moves fast, the ability to adapt becomes your greatest strength. Let flexibility be your superpower, and you'll always find your way forward. Who you surround yourself with shapes who you become. It's easy to overlook the power of your environment, but the people in your daily life are either lifting you up or holding you back. Success doesn't happen in isolation. Behind every great achiever is a network of influence. Mentors who challenge them, peers who inspire them, and friends who refuse to let them settle for average. Your circle sets your standard, so choose it wisely. Spend enough time around people who make excuses, settle for mediocrity, or mock ambition, and soon their mindset becomes yours. Not because you're weak, but because we are all shaped by the emotional climate we live in. Just like a plant can't thrive in poor soil, your potential can't flourish in a negative or stagnant environment. If you're serious about growth, you must be intentional about who gets access to your time, energy, and trust. Your inner circle should be a mirror of your aspirations, not your limitations. Seek out people who challenge you, not with criticism, but with high standards. Look for those who are actively working on their own goals, who are hungry for knowledge, and who are committed to becoming the best version of themselves. These individuals will not only hold you accountable, they'll also inspire you to push beyond what you thought was possible. But this isn't just about surrounding yourself with successful people. It's about aligning yourself with those who share your values, your vision, and your discipline. The ones who encourage you when you're down, who tell you the truth when you need to hear it, and who celebrate your growth as if it were their own. That kind of environment is rare and powerful. At the same time, you must be willing to distance yourself from those who constantly pull you away from your goals. It doesn't mean you stop loving them or wishing them well. It simply means protecting your future. You have a responsibility to your potential. You don't owe anyone your stagnation. Be kind, but be firm. Your time is limited, and your dreams deserve an atmosphere that supports them, not stifles them. Audit your circle regularly. Who makes you better? Who drains you? Who holds you back with their negativity or complacency? And most importantly, are you the kind of person others rise around? Greatness isn't just about who surrounds you, it's also about who you choose to become. So, raise your standard. Curate your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. When your circle reflects your goals, your growth accelerates. When you surround yourself with people who live with purpose, pursue progress, and demand excellence, you elevate by association. And when your network supports your ambition, greatness becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Radical ownership is the cornerstone of true transformation. Until you take full responsibility for your life, every decision, every result, every setback, you will remain at the mercy of circumstance. Blaming others, pointing fingers, or waiting for better conditions may offer temporary comfort, but it robs you of your power. The most successful people in history didn't rise because the world handed them ideal conditions. They rose because they chose to own their path, no matter how difficult. Ownership means refusing to make excuses, no matter how valid they may seem. It's easy to blame your past, your environment, or even bad luck for where you are today. But the truth is, the moment you stop placing responsibility outside yourself is the moment everything begins to change. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And that's where your true power lies. Radical ownership starts with your mindset. It's waking up each morning and declaring, "My life is my responsibility." Not just when things are going well, but especially when they're not. It's holding yourself to a higher standard, even when no one's watching. It's recognizing that your results, good or bad, are a reflection of the choices you've made, and that every new day brings the opportunity to make different ones. This level of accountability is uncomfortable because it removes all the safety nets. There's no one left to blame. But that's also why it's so powerful, because it means you are no longer waiting on anyone or anything to change your life. You become the driver, not the passenger. You set the direction, the pace, and the tone of your journey. Ownership also means being honest with yourself. Brutally honest. Where have you been procrastinating? Where have you lowered your standards? What areas of your life have you been neglecting while telling yourself, "It's not that bad"? This kind of self-reflection isn't about guilt. It's about growth. It's about identifying where you're falling short so you can begin closing the gap between where you are and where you want to be. When you embrace radical ownership, your actions become intentional. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself direction. You don't hope for change, you make it. You set goals, establish habits, and follow through, even when motivation fades. You learn from your mistakes, adjust, and keep moving forward. Not because it's easy, but because you've decided your life is worth fighting for. At the end of the day, radical ownership isn't a mindset for the faint of heart. It's for those who are ready to lead themselves boldly and unapologetically. It's for those who understand that success is earned, not given. So, take responsibility for your life right now. The path is yours to walk. And the moment you own it completely is the moment everything becomes possible. As we move through the seasons of life, one truth remains constant. Growth never ends. The path to fulfillment and peace is paved not just with what we achieve, but with how we respond to life's challenges. Emotional strength, self-discipline, and clarity of purpose are not traits reserved for the young or the lucky. They are cultivated over time, especially through adversity. Whether you're navigating retirement, facing health concerns, or reflecting on what legacy you'll leave behind. The ability to remain resilient and take ownership of your choices is vital. Even at 65 miles per hour, a small turn of the wheel can redirect your entire course. That's the power of intentional living. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Focus on what you can control. Let your daily habits reflect your highest values. You've weathered storms before, and within you lies the wisdom, strength, and courage to shape the years ahead. Growth isn't bound by age. It's found in mindset, discipline, and the decision to keep reaching forward, one step, one breath, one day at a time.